the average brother in prison, no disrespect to them, ninth grade education with a 15-year-old emotionally quotient. So here I am getting these downloads through the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Dead Sea Scrolls. I was reading the Sanskrit, Buddha, Krishna, these are my dudes, so that's what was teaching me. Now, the articulation of the science, it wasn't later on until I went to other prisons when I got books, then I could speak scientifically. So people don't think that's ancient mythology. Oh, bro, you're not a pastor, you're not a rabbi, you're not there. Everybody's keeping telling me who I'm not. Who am I then? Who am I?
I'm so excited for the guest today, Tobias Tubbs. So excited. I've been looking forward to this. And the reason why I've been looking forward to this so much is because I know that we're going to be talking a lot about love and spirituality.
Yeah.
And those are two of my favorite topics in the whole world. And you have an amazing story, incarcerated for 28 years for a crime that you didn't do. And somehow you navigated your way, you threaded a needle and found your peace and redemption. And there's so much of your story that resonates with me. And I can't wait to dig in for you to share your story with everybody. We got the Kleenex. We're all ready to go. We got a bunch of three criers here, pretty much.
Yeah, and I just want to say before we start, I was watching one of your videos, and within 5 minutes, I was crying. So, I made sure that the tissue paper was here again, in case, you messed up my makeup. But it's okay if you do. Don't worry.
We're there. We're there. Where do you want me to start?
I'm expert. Of course, you've got a beautiful background of an amazing, loving father who was teaching you spiritual things at a young age. But I want to go to where, fast forward, you're 18.
Yeah.
You're hanging out with some boys. Like, so what happened there? Maybe later on we'll rewind back to your amazing father. But let's start with that crazy day.
Okay. One at 18 and one at the age of 20. Like we said, we go back into my childhood a little bit later. Just got back from Columbia, Orangeburg, South Carolina, in 1988. I'm 18 years old. And my father's an electrical contractor, a master electrician. So we was in Watts at the time. And he said, son, don't be estranged to the natives. At that time, the majority of young men were gang affiliated. Gangs have taken over Los Angeles in the 80s. And so me, I've never been gang affiliated, just honoring my father. So I went out there inside of the projects. I just rolled up, pulling my stuff out, about to move it to my father's wife at the time, her apartment. So I meet the guys, meeting all the guys. And the next thing I know, my first sign was a helicopter came around. There's something very deep into me. Like, yeah, this ain't cool. But I'm a South Carolina kid and ain't no helicopters. So then 10 squad cars came up, angry.
Upon arrival? You had just arrived.
Brother, just arrived. My clothes and stuff, I'm just moving in. Hard days of work. But I've been an electrician with my father since I was 7. I am 17, 18 at the time. And this was the first time. The life without sentence came at 20. But this is the first time I was initiated into the system. So they take all the IDs, and most of the guys don't even have IDs. And so, that's my name. I said, my name is Tobias Tubbs, sir. He said, Tobias Tubbs, sir? He looked around to his partners. He said, well, Mr. Tobias Tubbs, sir, one of y'all bust out the window in my squad car. And you're going to jail. I'm like, oh, sure, I ain't need going to jail. I didn't do such a winning squad car. So they run it, and they say it's clean. My name. It's clean. It has to be clean. I just got here. And he asked me, where do you come from? I said, South Carolina, sir. He said, welcome to Los Angeles. You're going to jail for busting out the window in my squad car. Yeah. That's the first time in my life that I've always been a sensitive person. The first time I felt the handcuffs on that bone. And it wasn't so much the steel upon bone. it was the angst. It was like the hatred, as if he knew me and I personally hurt him. And then he stuck me in the glass. And they rolled me around all night through Compton, calling me the N-word, telling different officers they're going to kill me. And that was the first time I was arrested. Now we're going to fast forward.
Wait, don't leave that experience here, because I just want to understand it. So they took you to jail that night?
They took me to jail in the middle of Watts.
And they charged you for something?
They charged me for busting out the window.
You did not.
I did not, but of course not. I didn't, but I was working with my father all day.
They didn't give you a chance to...
Listen, they let me out like 3 o'clock in the morning. Remember, this happened maybe 40-something years ago. They kept my watch. I got paid. My daddy was paying me $7 an hour then. And no disrespect to you, Daddy, but come on, man. $7 an hour. And, you know, I was doing grown man work since I was a kid. You know, you try to please your father, although I know we're going to get to him later, but it's hard to tell my stories without it. And they took my paycheck. And this all really let me know that, you know, these people are not playing fair. They let me out in a place I've never been to, in the middle of Watts, and I'm walking. I call my father to tell him what happened, and ironically, he says the same thing the police said. Welcome to L.A. That kind of hurt me worse. My father's been my champion. And come get me, be mad, be angry. My father's a black revolutionary and all this stuff. But we've talked about it at depth. He was like, son, you have to understand the realities of where you're at and how to navigate those realities, because I'm not going to be with you your whole life. So that night I found so much humanity in Hispanic gang members. Because remember, I'm bloody. The T-shirt is bloody. And I'm walking through different barrios and neighborhoods, and they're laughing because the officers did the same thing to them. Hey, man, go this way, man. Turn right, go this way. So I went through like 4 or 5 hoods. And if you look at my story, when I got to prison at 20 for the death sentence, then I've already seen humanity in people who we've claimed have no humanity. Well, we know we've marketed, and we as a country have marketed these people like there's no good in them. But yet and still, they empathize, they sympathize with me. Oh, the same thing happened to me. Go this way, go that way. And so I just explained this to my younger sister. The first time I knew that I had a voice, I had a speech impediment. We all had to go to court for open container. Because that's what they gave us, open container, gambling, blah, 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 blah. Their dress, I know y'all, and I know in like corduroy pants, gang dress attire. Me, my father had me in tailor-made clothes at like 12. So I got tailor-made tacks on, ballet slip-on shoes, a shirt like this, real nice. And so we ride the bus, we go to the courthouse, and the judge like, yeah, he's looking through, and he looks at me like, who are you? And this is very important later on in my life, because if you look at my 30-year experience, I count these 2 years as well, 20 years experience, every point of your life, there's going to be indications that you can do it, that you have what it takes to do it, but you have to go back and grab those moments and seize those moments, because those moments really wasn't for you. It was for those who might not have a voice. It's those who might not have a champion or a father. And so I said, Your Honor, my name is Tobias Tubbs. I come from South Carolina. And he just looking at me, he's mesmerized, like, normally do got Jerry Care, I did that shit, man. Police with me, excuse my language. That's what he's used to. Yeah, I'm so happy and all this, and I'm speaking with articulates, or I'm throwing my sputtery, and he threw out the case. So this is when I'm 18. Nice. So if you look at me at 38, 48, 30 years later, with Governor Brown, and what happened, this for my father didn't coddle me, because he knew that he's invested all of the seeds. He knew this was training.
Yeah, you need to stand up on your own.
Yeah, so that was at the age of 20, what you're speaking of, is it was me and three of my co-defendants. We're on the same basketball team. And so a case occurred. Two of my co-defendants, they committed the crime and admitted to it. So they was looking for confessed. Yeah, with several testimonies.
Wow.
The first thing my father said.
Did it say though that you weren't there?
No, they didn't speak on me, period. They didn't
Okay.
speak on me, period. And man, so being that we're the three stars on the team, we use this defense inside of my trial. Okay, now you're saying if Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and Rodman is in the game, you know, Rodman might go off and do whatever he's doing after the game. As we know, Mr. Rodman's story, no disrespect, but I did use it. That don't mean that Scottie and Jordan is there with him because they're the three stars on the team. Rodman have his own right, but he does what he does, but he comes on the court and he does his stuff. We actually use this in my case.
So you guys were three close friends.
We're close friends.
They committed a crime and they pulled you in.
The officers, no evidence. I wasn't identified as the third person. They said it was a shorter guy, whatever the case might be.
But they knew you guys were
Partners.
friends.
We were friends. So
Wow.
when they arrested me, my father, first thing, now a little context, my father was wanted by the FBI his whole childhood. Because he was about Black Revolution, woo woo. So my father used to tell, brother, you have been behind the wall and woo woo. I'm 7 years old.
Right.
My mother and sisters in South Carolina. We're in the Mecca of Black folks, which is a Murray Park, and he's thinking that the FBI is about to kick down the door and I got to feed you with all the spirituality and mythology and sociology and conspiracy theories and all this right now. And so when I got there and was blessed to talk to the DA at the time, which was the mass incarceration, the DA, Mr. Garcetti, thank you. He's inside one of my documentaries. What hurt me, I never told him, that he didn't even remember who I was. He said, yeah, I don't know Tobias. He was just one of thousands.
Wow.
You know, I'm thinking, oh man, I know who you is. I thought he was gonna know you. I remember that kid. His family was there. And he said, we treated a lot of people unjustly. We bit into a narrative that erased their humanity.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to treat them very inhumane. And a lot of us have regret about it. And so, yeah, I didn't speak. And so they said, my father was my legal runner at the time, which is unheard of in the 80s, that young Black men have a father who's in the courts, who's investigating the case. My father was not just a Black liberation. My father was, he knew he's a weapons man, you know. So he knew what happened there was it me. So the point of this is he came to me, and this is to David's point about love and spirituality. He said, son, they're about to send you away. You know. Hey, you know, me and my father just started talking about this stuff, so it's like real fresh, you know, recently, you know. Because I never really got his perspective, because he's always strong, and he's coming, and I'm here, son. And so now I'm out and I sing. And so we take trips so that he can talk. And he said, they might have your body, but they don't have your spirit.
Wow.
Your mind, son. And so now he's referring to days in which we sit, days we go into meditation, days that we're talking about the different mythologies of Asia and India. So my father didn't believe in television. He believed in reading and discussing mythologies and breaking up symbolism, you know, challenging, you know, the status.
Very intelligent.
Oh man, it's my dude. And so he was dropping the Bible seeds in me. So about time that at the age of 22, which y'all have brought me here today, to the age of 48, those 28 years, you know, we cannot shy away from difficulty. You know, I say, do you think that pearl in the mouth of a clam, did it like the agitation? Probably not. Did the diamond or the gold like the pressing upon the earth? Probably not. But it is necessary. So in my case, I had to figure out, what is my advantage inside of a system where violence is the currency? Who can hurt who the worst? You're the shot caller. The police in prison, particularly California's prison, that led the world in mass incarceration. And just for your audience, I'm not in the being the victim. I'm a champion. I wasn't a victim up in there, nor did I blame the white man in the system, but we understand creative conditions and how creative conditions work. It's an algorithm. The same way that you can rate certain circumstances for a person to end up criminal, you can reverse the engineering, and that same person can love on a person like the same. You know? So that's how I looked at it then. So, yes.
But these insights didn't come right away, you know? Yeah, so as I understand it, you really started to figure some of this stuff out around age 27-ish or so?
Yeah, at around age 27, that's why I took it serious.
Yep, so but before that, you know, how bad did it get?
But we still, like,
What do you want to know?
I still want to complete the story because, like,
sure.
because you're in the courtroom and you have a decision to make, right?
Oh, yeah.
You have a choice to speak and tell your side of the story.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? I just think this is important. This is speak or to the side of the story. Or if you tell your side of the story, which is that you were completely innocent. Yeah. You were nowhere around. Yeah. Your two friends could get executed. Yeah, yeah. So even at that moment, at 20, you had to make a very big decision. Can you tell us about? Okay. Tell me about that thought. Probably, like, what were you feeling? Like, how? Because I might have been like, I'm sorry, guys. You committed the murder, you know, and I can't be in prison for 28 years for the rest of my life. So I'm gonna have to speak. Like, just share a little bit about
this. Wherever we are,
because they held zero evidence against you.
None.
So had you spoken as articulate as you are,
no,
they probably would have.
Yeah.
You might have been completely let go.
Okay.
And a different journey in life, of course.
I'm gonna offer you this. At the age of 7, my father comes outside and said, "Are you going with me or staying with your mother?" So I'm not a person that's new to difficult decisions. Just think about that. I'm the only son of 3 girls, myself and my 3 sisters, Nicole, Sade, and Tahira. My daddy comes outside. I'm 7 years old. "Son, are you going with me?" Because this took me. "Come on, man, let's go."
Yeah.
So he put the decision on me. Then I said, "Yeah, I'm going to go with you. So let me go tell mama and my sisters goodbye. Hey, man, you might have to holler at them later. You go up in there, that might be it." So at the age of 21, 23, when the trial was, there's something that's already in there about making difficult decisions. The law at the time stated, if you have more than one co-defendant and there's not a severance, and they have statements and I don't have a statement, and if I stand up to speak to myself, it will put them in the death penalty, in the death chair. And now, when you talk about love, you talk about revolution, you talk about tasting the bitter pill, you know, it's all talking to its time. They offer me 25 years to life. They offer me to turn state's evidence. But sometimes something greater than yourself emerges. And from, I know we're going to go into it later, the people I've met that are around you, the 2 of y'all couldn't even pull this off. It's something greater than you working. To see the people around you, the power, the love, the spirituality, the practical, measurable steps of a formula that produces very powerful people, young and old. That's beyond y'all. Y'all are just willing participants. So even if I wanted to do something else, I didn't have an option, because life, when it's in my heart, you know, when I'm convicted on a thing, that's it, against all odds. Against all odds. This is my path then. Yeah. This is my path. So it wasn't an option of turning. It's not an option for me to disrespect you or your home or the people around you, or that my daddy didn't raise me like that.
So you almost felt like you had a decision to make, but you felt the calling on what you needed to do, because almost your path was already written for you.
And to go back a little bit, I was in South Carolina. I was on California Most Wanted. I was about to go to America's Most Wanted. You talking about the race. This is 1991. Leader of Muslim assassin team. Leader of Muslim, that'll get you a raise. Assassin team, that'll get you killed. This is 91, before 9/11. I'm the first one to be labeled like that in the inner city as an African-American kid. That's what my warrant said, Compton's Most Wanted. Y'all the people resource. So I hope you find it because they tell me they don't know where the warrant is.
Over the murders?
Yeah,
They were looking for you?
yeah. So I'm in South Carolina at USC, University of South Carolina, Gamecocks. The phone rings, and I literally feel it. I'm in my girlfriend, the house dorm, her dorm. And I look down, and I see a line of cars, and you know those like them Texas Rangers with the big old hats? I've been scared in my life a few times. Not a lady.
You knew they were there for you.
Ooh, that's not cool. That's not cool. With the big old hats and them boots. You know, you can just imagine, just like on the TV show. It's just like on the TV show. And time is like going real slow, and they get real fast. And next thing you know, my mom, my mother's husband for 47 years now. I call my dad. I have my father and my dad. And the police chief for the black people. No, this is in South Carolina. I mean, you got the white jail and the black jail. He just happened to be one of my coaches in high school. So what happened, and now you understand in context, the sociological context of my decisions, they let me get in the car with my mama. So me and my mom go, and we go home. They take me to the pastor and the deacons, and they put hands, snatch my earring out my ear. You on crack, boy? Man, crack. I ain't never did drugs all of my life, bro. You must been on crack. And they pulled the exercise and the demon up out of me. I'm looking at them saying, when you look at me, so I was ready to turn myself in for sure. So my mom took me after the decks, and I love y'all, but still, this is my story, and they created a safe space, so I'm doing it. And so my mother took me, and she said, Tobias, if you did it, I'll help you run. She says, my mama.
It's a good mom.
It's the best mom ever. I would help you run. I would tell the captain of the police, which is like one of my uncles, tell him to go and you got him. And they all agreed. We're going to let him run.
Wow.
But if you didn't do it, son, my same little sister who's coming to share the beauty that y'all have shared with me, I said, Mama, I'm putting on to Howard's life. At that time I was kids, so I swore up on people. You know, I swear up on God now. And she knew. She didn't even ask me again. Then I turned myself in.
Here's a question for you. Who's writing your story, you or some random dude on the internet? If you're sick of Google, gossip blogs, or that one angry ex controlling how the world sees you, it's time to do something about it. Erase.com helps you take back your narrative by removing harmful content, outdated info, and straight-up lies from search engines. Your past shouldn't be a permanent headline. Erase.com gives you the reset button that the internet forgot to include. So don't let the web define you. Go to erase.com, use code ERASED for 10% off, and start owning your story today. Links in the description. Click it. Your future self will thank you.
And from that point, I'm the kind of person, something that your husband told me on the Zoom. He said, when we befriend a person, that wasn't his word, but I don't want to use the business term, we follow it through. And that was the last thing your husband told me. When we ain't just, no, bro. When we with you. So before God and my mother in the swamps of South Carolina, then I'm going to see this through. Because when I put my word on it, that's it. That's it. That's it. And so when I got to court, all that happened in the Compton, I was in Compton and Watts, which was some of the most dangerous and crazy place in the 80s.
So they shipped you back, right?
Yeah, they shipped me back. I'm talking about National Guard. I'm going to say this, y'all can cut it if you want to. I'm telling the guy, right? I'm not really taking that stuff seriously, but I know it's serious. I've never killed a person before. And most people know I've never even been in a physical fight my whole life. Your husband probably did more fighting than I have. Maybe you have.
Yeah.
I've been in 5 fights.
They're really scrappy.
My record is 2-2-1.
Yeah, I have even till today.
We both grew up in not the greatest.
So the whole point is I didn't even have a context of really, your parents can tell you, like my parents, they told me I was beautiful. I didn't feel beautiful because I wasn't beautiful. You're strong. If you don't feel strong, you're not strong. And so, they came and got me, 2 black officers, and, they walked me out, let me kiss my mom. Then I knew it was gonna go bad. When we got in the car, he slammed the sheet back on my legs. Bam. I'm like, oh, I'm back here. When I got on the plane, leaving South Carolina, I remember like it's yesterday. I said, excuse me, sir, I have to use the restroom when I get on the plane. So they take me to a special, where the plane's about to fly off, a special spot. He said, Mr. Tubbs, I'm going to take your penis out, and you're going to use the restroom. After you use the restroom, you're going to let me know, because I'm shackled, and I'm going to shake you 3 times, and I'm going to put it back, and we're going to zip it up, and we're going to put you on this plane. That's how I knew these people wasn't playing. Well, the dude with a gun up over me, just like this. When that happened, and that's like ain't nobody touching me in my period when I was like 1 or 2. That's real. And so when I use the ref, I'm looking at him, I'm looking at everything. I'm like, these people crazy.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, whoa, you good? Good. Zip, boom, take it. And then I remember when they put me on the plane was full. And I remember how people was clutching.
Is this Con Air or is it like a commercial flight?
No, this is a commercial flight.
Yeah.
And I seen how mothers was looking, grabbing their children. And I was like, oh, bro, and that did it. It was like, these people think I'm like an animal or a terrorist, like I'm a harm. In my whole life.
So they took you on the plane in front of everybody?
Everybody, they had the National Guard all lined up. Because I asked him, I said, what's going on? Like, the president here, the governor here? Well, he looked at me. He said, this is for you. Brother, you're big time now.
Is this one of your lowest moments in life, possibly, or did it?
It's the lowest moment in my life when I was convicted, and I heard my mother and family. I'm the heir son, and the firstborn male on both sides of my family. I'm the planned one, and so much was invested in me. And, these were my friends, but I wasn't in the house during the murders. I didn't kill those people. I didn't participate in that way. So to find myself and to hear what they're saying about me, super predator, psychopathic, sociopath, they got to put all the language on it to erase you. He can't be a human. We can't give a 20-year-old human this amount of time and send him to the worst prisons in the world if there's some redemptive qualities. So, clinically, and this is why, I'm going to jump a little bit. When I study, I ain't even study, man. I just looked y'all up and I got it immediately. I found you. I find you squabbling against a whole system that's trying to get us to I got it then. That's where I got you.
It was a dynamo.
And then him is when y'all first met. I said, that's why I already figured it out. Being in those situations.
You saw the video of our proposal?
Not the proposal, but apparently he said you were sick to some extent, and y'all are kicking it or something, and you sneezed or cough. He said something.
Oh, I told you to share this.
What's that?
Yeah. And
Our second date when you're there sick as a dog, and I looked in your face and I said, I love you, and you're like, what? I was like, what'd you say? I'm like,
yeah.
We're all about love.
So that's when, because I knew my brother who came with me, Robbie, was like, okay, who are these people who's inviting you and what's going on?
Yeah.
And so normally I don't research nobody. The spirit gonna tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And I want to be as candid and authentic and real as possible. If not, I don't need to be here. Seriously. And so as I looked up the name, I seen you fighting over your school.
Yeah.
And I'm fighting for my school right now. So I got that immediately. I didn't have to look no more. So I said, okay, what's the spirit of him? And David. His name is David, which is my favorite name, Dawith, which is the beloved of God. And Layla. Layla's my best friend tonight. She's always been for me. In prison, the days are rough, but the nights are sweet. And that's where we escaped. And so when they say, yeah, me and my wife name is Layla, I'm like, man, love and name, man, this is a no-brainer, man. These are my folks. And so, the roughest time, the lowest moment is not all the isolation in the cells and, watching people be harmed. And not just the guards harming people. you have to be hurt to hurt people.
Yeah.
You can't be a whole person and real person.
Something you said in one of your, sorry to cut you. Something you said in one of your podcasts really resonated very deeply with me is that, like yourself, I always look within, where's my contribution? What did I do to get us get myself into this situation in the first place?
Or why is God taking you there? Sometimes it's not your control or power, it's just God going, it's time to go. Like, I need you for this mission.
Yes, but in this case,
But it can be a combination of both.
in this case, you were like, you owned that you were a disconnected individual, which it gravitated you or gravitated those friends of yours into your life, and got you into the mix that maybe a mix that maybe didn't serve you particularly well.
Right.
And
Okay, and draw too, and not to dehumanize or demonize or erase my friends. Sociology is one of my favorite subjects, not because of sociology, because it gives you terminology so you can talk to people without this being a 5-hour podcast. There's contexts in the world.
Yeah.
At that time, LAPD, no disrespect, guys, they was driving 4 in a car. Do you know what that means? To us, you're not getting arrested. That means they're going to kill you. No, they're going to kill you.
Oh,
they're going to kill you. They're going to hurt you. They're going to F you up, bro. Just imagine, when 2 police in the car, there's a potential you get arrested, they put you in, and you go to jail. In 1990, 91, when I went to jail, that it was a war against black and brown males against the police.
it's like South Central LA, all that, like Watts,
LA, Compton,
yeah.
Long Beach, wherever there was black. The time of the super predator, crack cocaine came.
Boys in the Hood,
all that kind of vibe was going on.
Yeah.
So now our position is kill to be killed. So a person who, even in prison, most people who harm people in prison, it's not that you want to harm somebody. They're coming to stab you. So what you gonna do? Oh, I'm peaceful, I'm cool. No, bro, you gonna take that knife, a can of tuna, and put it in a sock, and you're gonna defend yourself. Both y'all's gonna get rolled up. And if you're killing, you feel me? Now you done killed somebody else in prison. So it's the nature of the beast. That's what makes the story that surrounded me so powerful. I had the potential and the ability to protect myself. My father taught me how to fight, how to kill as a kid. Protect the house, doorway, center mass, 2, 1, so to be able to take all of that training and experience and transform that into love. So now instead of taking 2 to your heart that way, I'm going to take 2 to your heart another. That will touch their head. You feel me? We can think about what I'm doing. You feel me? It's a transferable skill. So to the point. No, man. So to the point in which you're asking about what took place with my co-defendants and where I was at, I was disconnected from my humanity because I'm living out my father's frustration with the 60s. COINTELPRO, the FBI, Hoover's campaign on killing his friends. They're coming to the door. Who's coming to the door? The FBI. I don't even know ABC, FBI. Who was the FBI? White people. Oh, white people. Oh, these 2 right here? Which one? On all of them. Okay, all of them. You feel me?
That was your conditioning.
That's the conditioning, and I don't blame him for look what he came from in the 40s.
That's it.
In 50, and this
And your grandparents.
transgenerational harm and trauma. So he's doing the best he can at 23 years old to 30 to prepare his son. So now when it comes down to the Crips or the Bloods or the Mexicans or the police hurting me, so I'm in the mentality, no, I will hurt you before you hurt me. That was the mentality. So I can see why me and my co-defendants are so wound up about hurting somebody who's trying to hurt us. In this intent, there was no justice because I didn't hurt them people. I didn't do anything. So people who hear me speak about this story, this journey, no, I was thoroughly disconnected from my humanity. I've totally bit in that this is war and physical violence is the way. Why? Because they're shooting us and they're killing us and they're stumping us out. And they're not regarding my mama. They're not regarding my sister and my family. The sad part about it, when we act out violently, I'm not thinking about my mama. I'm not thinking about my sister, not alone the person who I'm harming. And I speak in personal context, me. So with that being said, it wasn't until, to your question, when they hit me, I was like, you don't even have a context of 25 years when you're 20 years old. They offered me 25 years. I ain't been born to you. Don't even have a term of reference how long 25 years is.
Yeah.
Not long life without the possibility you're going to die in prison. And it's not the dying in prison, it's the treatment.
Yeah.
And once the federal government said, yeah, stop killing them, then they started neglecting us. No toilet paper, no water. Your team was just looking. I'm like, yeah, Tobias is so mindful. When I poured the water into the beautiful glass, I'm looking at it. Because remember the time there was no water. Then you're going to drink out the toilet. Or you're going to die. So now look at me. I'm at the settlers. 2 or 3 different kind of waters to drink. Different glasses and cups, carrots. Lady Carol's. Yes. You feel me? So this is neglect is worse than physical harm.
Mm-hmm.
Bones heal, scars heal, but when you hurt people deeply, emotionally, and socially,
Psychological warfare, that's what it is.
it is the worst. So that was the main thing. It was the knowing that I didn't know the impact it had on my father because he always put up such a strong front point.
Does he see, so you became an awakened individual, awakened to your conditioning, awakened to your trauma. We know all too well for our own spiritual path, going to India and like healing our traumas and so on. I'm sure you had these conversations with your father now
Recently.
and you see it as clearly as you do.
Oh, my father said this, and this is the greatest accomplishment. Because I really didn't know if he got it. Because then still, me and him didn't have, he comes to see me through enormous odds.
While you're in,
Oh yeah, my whole family stayed down for me. And that's one of my powers in prison. I had family. And my family became their family. They didn't have father.
Did your mom move down too or no?
No, she didn't move from South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
My dad, I call him a stepdad for context of my father and my dad. Oh, I'm talking about, a lot of time and energy, not only for my siblings and my cousins and everybody coming to see me and keeping me alive. They made sure that my nieces and nephews treat me as if I was there.
Oh,
Because they kept me alive.
that's beautiful.
That's the whole thing. The honor about death is that you lived.
And they were nurturing your soul. And
The whole time. So I thought
that's something uniquely different you had. The others.
That's what none of them had.
Cut off. They were treated like a number.
These brothers, a number, this is very interesting. Before I left out, I go to the canteen. I give the lady, they used to say Tobias Tubbs 6'4", and then it was just 6'4". So you go from a name, you raise, to a number, 6'4", 7876464. I probably never forget that number. And then she said, "Oh, Mr. Tubbs, you're a barcode." They had a barcode, and that was like a rough moment. I'm erased after the culture. I'm not only Tobiah, which is a saintly name in the Hebrew Jewish tradition. He's literally a saint, championing the cause of his father, the saint of reconciliation and healing, angelic double of Raphael. I'm talking about all this erased. Your name is known Tobias. Tubbs, we're going to take your patriarchy, and your name is 876464 because they had A, B, C, D, E, and you're 7,664. No, we got something better than that. We done got so many people, and we just gonna make barcodes about them, and that's where.
Where'd they put the barcode at?
Oh, on the back, yeah.
It was on your shirt?
No, it's on your ID. So now they just scan the barcode, and they know who you are, and they know what's going on. You feel me? So we're talking about dealing with being erased and the cancel culture and how that feels.
But what did you feel when you were sitting in the courtroom?
Okay.
And they announced the sentencing. I can't imagine it. So just
for one, my father prepared me. See, preparation is everything. No, you're not going to understand when it's going on, but when it's going down, bro, those seeds open up. Seeds. I'm real big in permaculture. We're seeds. We're the seeds of the stars. We are created from the crucible, the hearts of stars. You feel me?
So stardust, all of us.
Man, I love you.
Love you too, brother.
So the seed grows in two ways. It takes roots and it sprouts. I know you were very deep in neurology. I knew this in my 20s and before now, so much scientific study on it, that the neurons of the heart are the most powerful. They're the largest. And so I seen a diagram of them taking root inside of the gut's neuron. Now, all this gut health now, which people is figuring out. Now, then the most neurons is in, the human brain. You feel me? So when you can line this up, then that is where the magic happens. So when I was sitting inside of the courtroom, by that time, my father had prepared me. I'm having out-of-body experience. I'm not even there.
Wow.
To limit the trauma, what kept me pulling me back is my mama and my godmama and my daddy and my little brothers. And then my wife, she's deceased now. She died of a broken heart while I was in there. We know I came up with that stress causes cancer in women. I did this in 97. You asked me about my awakening in 97. I'm going to get to that. Why? Sister, I've always had a gift, a talent. Whatever I focus on, and I didn't pay attention in school, not one day, I was able to get it. So with that being said, what kept me in the courtroom and not in my whole life, I never wanted to be where I was. So if you're not cool with your skin, you don't like how you look because your lips is like this or your skin is too dark or the guy's got curly hair, whatever, you're always going to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
So now I'm sitting at here, and when you're throwing the book at me and you're calling me incorrigible and you're talking about lack of neuroplasticity, what are you even saying? What does incorrigible mean? What is they're like neuroplasticity and atavistic? What is atavism? I'm talking about, come on, this is not even fair. I don't even know these words. So that's how I became a expert on neurology and atavism, and I debunked what allowed them to do this to us like 15 years inside my sentence. And then before I got out, I ain't gonna say his name, the one who came up with it, sold it bipartisan to two presidents, a Republican and a Democrat, and they ran with it as two families, and they created the new Jim Crow, the era of mass incarceration, and they made trillions off of it. I know what's up. And it was the point that I was the last person about to get married. That's another part of the inhumanity of how we incarcerate people. There's no contact. The first time I see your husband, I shake his hand. I want to hug him for you even not considering me, not just as people. Y'all are people. I see you. All the rest is going to stay here and somebody else going to have it. I want to make sure that he was willing to hug me. So I hugged him. If two neurons create consciousness.
Very huggable.
Yes. Oh, he's sweet too. He's soft.
Wait.
Your two neurons create consciousness. What do we create?
I don't know if you noticed this, but at our school, everybody's always hugging. Did you notice that when you went?
No. Yes.
You saw the school earlier today,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Came to the school today.
Did you see all the hugs?
The hugs amongst Josh and them. I wasn't going to assume, I'm just coming to the place. Oh no, it's a very personal experience.
Everybody's hugging.
It's a very intentional.
We've had teachers quit before because they're like, there's too much hugging, Doña, and I'm not used to it because in some schools, they don't allow it.
Side hug, maybe at the most.
Yes.
You are not allowed to hug your coworkers because you might,
Call HR.
you're afraid that your coworker might say it's harassment. You can't hug the hip.
I was the first person in my experience in Calipatria State Prison, 130 degrees. It's called Death Valley. The 23rd son is my favorite son. Yes, my father was a Muslim revolutionist. My mother and my stepdad built churches. So, and then my name is Tobias, so we can't get away from it. You read Hebrew just like I read Arabic and African scrolls. But the 23rd Psalm was my favorite psalm. I needed tutoring when I was a child because I tapped out of school very early. It's just a lot was going on. And so my parents gave me a tutor. And these two twins, beautiful young ladies. I know how the power of beauty to open you up. And they said, Tobias, pick Psalms to learn. And the Psalms picked me. 23rd Psalms. Yeah. And it was the 23rd Psalm. And she said, how long do you think for you to learn it? I said, I can learn it in like 5 minutes. She said, 5 minutes? See, yeah. She said, let us see.
How old are you?
13.
Oh, wow.
12. It's Danielle and Danielle. There was 2 twins, and they went to the college. And they showed me attention. That's what it was. I don't have a problem learning anything.
Yeah.
I'm not getting the proper stimulation.
The attention.
You know,
Okay, let's take me back to you were sitting in the courtroom. I wait to get that. Sit in the courtroom.
sit in the courtroom.
They give you each sense at the same time.
We call it bow-legged, consecutive and concurrent. That means I only have one life without sentence. If you beat that, you beat all of them. And the judge says, and this is why I didn't take things seriously. Mr. Tubbs, you're going to win anyway. We'll on appeal. So I married my woman on that, Starese, Najima, Sar, love you, see you in the by and by. I married her on that. Say I'm going to get out in 3 years. In 3 years. The judge said I'm going to get out. The judge said it. You know, but they ran theirs concurrent, and which is we call bow-legged, which means they have to, if they did win in court, you have to beat all of them. So I didn't accept none of that in my spirit. I didn't even accept it. I was listening, because you could tell, because I got all the scientific jargon that justified the sentence. It's not the case itself, it's how psychology and psychiatry puts down certain words that demonize and remove your humanity to justify the sentence and the treatment. So I learned all that. The whole time I was in prison, the elders, youngster, you can pray all day and be around here talking on this yard. If you don't go to that law library, you're going to stand here forever. I was the only person telling people that we're going to get out. Nobody gets out. Well, nobody does, but somebody is. And that somebody's going to be me. They thought I was crazy until Nama Jeans. So the whole point of that is I never accepted it in my spirit. I never accepted the time. So.
And you were manifesting from day one to be free, to be out of there. I mean,
my father said.
Sounds like you felt your soul was free no matter what. They were never able to wake the soul.
That came later, no.
No. The power to just be, just belief, conviction, and gratitude. If your artist can take anything, and this is scientifically proven now, belief is strong on the DNA. The DNA responds to belief, especially a belief in a higher power. They don't have to be by no conventional God name. There's something higher than myself. Okay, I'm one with the stars. I'm stardust. Every element that's in this megatar that's in me. Come on now. That's what I was on as a kid. And I get energized. I feel it. I can do it at the table. You just feel powerful.
Yeah.
But you got to control it because they're looking for that. They're looking to hurt that. But you have to pass it on. Stars pass on light, energy, radiation. He said, what resonated with me? Oh, no, he's talking about the law of resonance. Okay, boom. Then my whole brain goes on that. Because, I listened.
Yeah.
Because I had a father who was a war general. So I had to listen. And so it's not that I ever accepted it. I didn't. I was trying to get married. So that 3 years in the middle of them people's desert, I have human contact with a woman. I'm with this masculine, toxic, whatever, toxicity and all that. No, I've lived that. Being in a prison with 40 males in pubescence. The ones with the guns are the law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
And they got the sniper rifles. And a lot of them are veterans. They just came from war.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got us who've been fighting in the streets.
Mm-hmm. War zone.
The war zone. So now I'm like, I need to get married so I can have someone to hold my hand. So I can have someone to rub my face and say that I'm sweet and pull me on a visit. Somebody who I can talk to. And at that time, Starese Virginia Williams. I'm going to say her whole name.
God rest her soul.
Oh, God rest her soul. She's with me now. So energy never dies. It only goes to different dimensions. couple dynamics.
How many years were you guys married before she passed? She was young?
27. 27. She died later on, but when they took the conjugal visits, because they said we never not human, so they don't need to be procreating, they don't need to be having a beautiful woman come talking to them, and so they took it, and I seen her
Decline. Sorry.
Yeah. You can be, strong, firm as a mountain. You can glow like the moon. You can shine and radiate like sun. You can give life like the air, man. But when somebody doesn't have the will to live and to fight. And I seen it on our last visit. I'm trying to tell her, the same way I touch y'all, I may touch your hand. I touch your husband's chest. And I knew it was going to attack her 2 forms of cancer, her uterus and her breast. She won the uterus, but she didn't have the will to fight the breast. But it's the womb and the nurturing that was being attacked. And so when her sister, my little road dog Precious, she said, Tobias, please let her go. She's lost her mind. She's lost her will to live. She's hair start falling out. She was stressed. So,
when we've gone through our own journeys of cancellation, as you know, and it's not just about us. We leave an impact on those around us too, our friends and our family. Some of them stay with us, some of them leave with us. That experience it just as badly as we do. And it sounds like was she the only one in your life who was impacted? I mean, your mom and your father and your sisters,
community. You never, you don't, and not just in my situation. And this is, how does a 7 to 21-year-old really listen? And I don't know if life or God set it up. Your prefrontal lobe ain't even a prefrontal lobe till 25.
For men, right?
Right. Okay. That's one. That just means you have the machinery. See. And, I became an expert on this because I have to prove to myself and the world that I have neuroplasticity. What does that mean? That I can renew myself. I can rebuild again. Same way you tear down a house and you build another one. I can rewire myself. And I'm so powerful and rewire myself, I can show other people how to rewire themselves.
That's powerful.
And in fact, we're going to mirror neuron.
Were you studying Joe Dispenza in it?
What, huh?
Were you studying Joe Dispenza?
I never read none of those books.
No, because it's very it's powerful stuff.
Very enlightened.
So you started studying this in prison, how to rewire your memory.
I can't even say.
Or was this from your dad?
My father planted the seeds. I belief, conviction, gratitude. I believe that the universe is a book. And she is preserved. I call her grandmother. Mother Earth, the universe is grandmother. The metaverse is great-grandmother. I believe that every thought, every emotion, every gesture is preserved on the canvas of the universe. I also believe once we get past this physical body, that you can tap in to that record that's scroll. It's like quantum entanglement. It doesn't matter how far you feel that you are from your ancestors, your family, you're not. It's not even, it's a fabric. It's a cosmic fabric in which everything is connected to. So it moves faster than the speed of light because light has to travel. This don't have to travel. Boom. And so anything that I ever think about, I have to filter it through my humanity. I have to filter it through this physical body. But everything I ever thought about is the problem I had was articulating it to who's going to listen. You know, the average brother in prison, you know, no disrespect to them, ninth grade education with a 15-year-old emotionally quotient. So here I am getting these downloads through the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Dead Sea Scrolls. I was reading the Sanskrit, Buddha, Krishna. These are my dudes. So that's what was teaching me. Now, the articulation of the science, it wasn't later on until I went to other prisons when I got books. Then I could speak scientifically, so people don't think that's ancient mythology. Oh, bro, you're not a pastor, you're not a rabbi, you're not a D. Everybody's keeping telling me who I'm not. Who am I then? Who am I?
So you were, you might have been physically erased and canceled. Spiritually, you were never erased.
They can't.
But never for a moment.
Not 1 second.
So you're one of the lucky ones.
Brother, I am the lucky and fortunate one, because one, it was written for me. For two, I had people who are very intentional. And my life, how did I get here? How do I come and be blessed with this whole opportunity?
We're both total believers in that. Like, I feel that we've been divinely guided, even just how we met.
Yeah.
On the vast internet, on Match.com. I'm in California, he's in New York. Like, I felt from the moment like God put us together.
I know.
And I would tell him, even when we first met, because when we first met, he didn't have, we didn't have much at all. We both are very scrappy, and he was starting a great business, but it hadn't kicked off.
Excellent.
Yet. And I was, I had my own company, and, and I just finished getting my MBA. So I had $100,000 in student loans.
Come on.
But I just felt, I would say to him, I feel like we're divinely guided for bigger purpose. I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
But I feel we're here to make this world a better place.
Yes.
And we can do it separately, but combined, the power is so much greater. And I remember I would tell you that, honey.
Yes. Yeah.
I would tell you that. And he'd look at me like I'm crazy, like, what this crazy girl talking about?
Her journey is just a remarkable journey of ups and downs, struggles, kick to the curb, all kinds of stuff. And yet I believe, and maybe it takes me a little longer than her to realize, this is exactly the way it's supposed to be. This is going down exactly. There are no mistakes.
Perfect.
Yes, perfect. All the time.
Yeah. Even
every moment.
Well, you had researched about me, about the fight. I mean,
yes,
it was hard.
Yeah.
It was, you talk about, you can be physically incarcerated, right? Or you could be imprisoned by yourself.
I got you.
And I will say that when we sold our company, because we were still trapped in all the trauma of our childhood, that we didn't evolve our soul, and we didn't, we weren't free. We were prisoners of this physical being until we went to India. And learned how to free that.
I love you. You see it.
I
said this thing is both
No, and we had to tap into love.
Yes. Yeah, I say this. I said I've met more people who are in prison than I met that was incarcerated.
Yeah.
I met more people that are in prison. Incarceration just means my physical body was locked in a place I didn't want it to be.
It doesn't matter how much money you have.
In prison, that's a whole nother thing. And I said I met more people out here in prison.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that...
And they don't see it. That's what locks them up more. Like, he was 41 and he had a heart attack.
Yes.
Right? I was
41.
I was, 35, 36, constant chest pains because, I had anger issues and I had anxiety, and we didn't know.
My stepfather, we've had, look, we able to put away, without all due respect, but my background, poverty, suicidal behavior, terminal illness, bullying, verbal, physical abuse, and hers is pretty much, we talk about who's got the worst upbringing, and it's pretty close.
But what we did is we powered through it. We're like, okay, yeah, our childhood was, we're just going to figure out how to make a lot of money, and that's going to erase it all. But it doesn't.
Of course not.
And what got me excited about you is that, like, you said something that was so beautiful. You said, I had to learn how to not stay in the past, not be focused on the future, but be right here in the present. And you know, that's the foundation of what we're trying to teach these kids in school. And it wasn't until we learned that until we became free. It wasn't until we learned, and again, this is another reason I was so excited to meet you, is that you're sitting here talking about, I had a decision to make. Was I going to live my life angry and be a victim and blame?
Yeah.
Or was I going to go, okay, God has taken me here for a reason.
You want to be the light and the joy.
That's right.
Yeah.
How can
It's a conscious decision.
You got it.
Yeah.
you made a conscious decision?
We don't control circumstances. Right now, I'm angry. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
What you do control is how you feel about it. That was my power. And then they start getting mad. Tell us what the you smiling at. Oh, then I had to stop smiling because the police didn't want me smiling.
Yeah.
Because other people started smiling. Because that's the choice, bro. Just because he hits me or spits on me or curses me, you're not even affecting me. This is not me. When I was a kid, I thought it was me. But this is not me. So the point of being present in the moment,
This is
it.
beautiful, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, I tell our 6-year-old and 9-year-old, man, this is what our kids learn at school.
Mm-hmm.
Walk around and smile.
Yes.
And watch the reaction.
It's powerful.
It's powerful.
Powerful.
Say hi to someone.
Yes.
You know, open the door for something.
Yes, engaged. I mean.
And these are the things, like, you know, this is what I feel like the foundation of every school should be.
Yes, I agree.
And it's why, like, parents are like, it's so weird when I walk into your school, there's something different about it. I don't know what it is. And then they realize everybody's happy. But it's something that we have the ability to control. So for you to sit there and realize everybody around you is angry and the system wants them to be angry. Because what happens when you're angry?
Yeah, you can be easily influenced.
You're totally easily influenced. You're controlled.
Yeah, they call it gladiator school.
You're controlled. When you are in anger, you are 100% a puppet.
Yeah.
But when you're not in anger,
Oh, my goodness.
when you're in what you were, love, peace, and connection, there's no
It's a
control.
completely different part of your brain that you're
Soul
operating.
is free. You were in prison and your soul was free. So
Yeah.
you were not in prison.
No.
You were incarcerated.
Yeah, that was it.
That's it.
That's it.
You maybe couldn't open the door to go on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
but you were free. And I feel like that's the lesson I want our viewers to hear is, are you free right now?
Come on now.
Or are you in prison right now?
By your past.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do about, you know, your dad molested you.
Yeah.
Your mom beat you as a
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
They abandoned you.
Yeah.
You were on welfare because, you know, your parents were on drugs, right? Are you going to hold that anger? You hold on to that resentment? Are you going to be so angry about how come I didn't have this, and that?
Yeah.
Or are you going to set your soul free
Mm-hmm.
and say, you know what? I don't need these shackles. These are shackles.
That's it. Burdens, weights.
Who cares? Because you know what? There's a little princess who grew up with perfect parents. And she's also in prison.
Yeah.
Because she's allowing other factors imprison her, like her best friend called her ugly.
Yeah.
You know? So there are if you want to be a victim, you can.
Oh, very easily.
But the choice is to say no.
Nah.
I'm not going to be a victim.
The victim is a frequency. It's a vibration. And all that you bring to yourself is victimization. By the time that I went before the governor and one of the roughest commissioners in California before she resigned, after me and her interaction, everyone participated in my physical freedom. Islamic chaplains, Jewish billionaires, Buddhist monks, officers, gang members, various organizations.
You got your soul.
It became a thing to show me that this is the validation of the path, that you have won over all these people in your simple humanity, that someone will remember you. I got here because someone remembered me. That's amazing. All the people that we meet, all the people that can come on this show, somebody said, oh, Tobias.
Yeah.
Tobias would be perfect for this show.
Yeah.
And moved out on that remembrance. That's powerful. A person who I haven't talked to in maybe a year or two. Something.
You left that imprint on his soul.
That is
That you did.
That is what we do here. And to you all speaking on, all the trauma, whether it's personal or secondary, transgenerational levels of trauma. Trauma is actually beautiful. And I know people can say, we got to respect to him saying that. And what's beautiful on it, the deeper the trauma, the greater the resistance and resilience. And a lot of times we go through things, and so there's not people who have my voice. It's not people who have the platforms and springboards that I have to make it happen. So then I become the voice for them. So if I don't experience, I'm speaking outside of it. And this is one thing that the brother said today. He said, you're very authentic. So when people talk to you, they see that you're authentic. And that's very powerful in today's times. And so when you all speak, megatars, I study stars. Because I always want to know, what kind of star would I be? What kind of star has the greatest magnetic pull? And it's the stars that collapse into each other. And they become one light. These are megatars. The gravitational pull is greater than the Earth. They shine 1,000 times more greater than the sun. So think about this star here, and you just said it. So all that you went through and all that he's gone through, the beloved and the night, come together.
Yeah.
Now think of all the people in that pull, in that sway. And that is the miracle of not just men and women, is when souls connect in that way. I've collapsed inside of your world. Mm-hmm. Come on, I'm walking out on the balcony overlooking, I've never been this high in the sky except for a 10 airplane. You feel me? So now I'm like, wow. And I didn't even think that the door actually worked. There's like a prop in some places. Yeah. It's there, but just for show, I opened it up and I was afraid because I'd never been this high in the sky. So I stepped out of the balcony.
You're talking about the apartment where you're staying.
Yes. You feel me? Like, wow, I'm up here. And then a bird, I'm like, damn, I'm on the same high level.
It's a nice place, too.
That's a beautiful place. In prison, down. Whenever violence happens, you have to get down on the ground. And it's 130 degrees. And you have to stop right where you are. And it's asphalt. And there's no grass nor trees. And so first I used to just...
It's hot asphalt.
I'm talking about people literally skin has been burnt off of their bodies. And so I've seen it. I've known them. I've loved on them. I've rubbed. Yeah. So I used to find a spot and lay, and I always like layer clothes. My sweetie Kimmy, why you still wearing layer clothes? I still do. I got like 3 pair of pants right. You just never know. I guess it's part of institutionalization. Because I'm layered up, you never know what might happen. My point of it is, I used to go to my mama's house, whoop, and I used to remember the grass. I used to lay in the grass and I look up. And so that's where I'd be, because they let you leave down there so long. So I said, why am I going there? And it's not really her house, and I'm just trying to get away from here. I start going to the beach. And so today, Robbie and I went to the beach and walked on the sand, and I see those waves, beautiful waves.
We're in Miami for our viewers. We're in Miami Beach.
Yeah. So I started crying and like, well, what's up, brother? I said, brother, inside of the spiritual path, all spirits are connected. Whether you call it a ruach, or whether you call it a ruh, whether you call it ba, what symbol, what time, what era, just stop playing. The spirit of the divine and the spirit of the divine. And so I've always been able to see where I was going. But the people around me just be lights. So when I meet y'all, that's why it's like home. Hey, I just have to wait to see if y'all on the same wavelength. If y'all feeling me, I'm feeling you. Come on in. If not, I pray you do by the end of it. And so when we was there, hug Robbie, man, told him that I love him and appreciate him. I said, brother, I've been here 1,000 times. And people know I'm blessed to travel. I've been all over the world, been to many beautiful beaches, but today, fully present, fully in the awe of it. And then I'm standing there I said, this is what it's about. It's not about this podcast. It's not about meeting y'all. It's about letting know everybody who I met up to this point, I loved on them, and they loved on me. And I treat them like stars, and they treat me like a star.
I want to hear some of those stories because I've got this vision in my mind of you being in prison, being this bright, shining light, bundle of love, hugging on men that have never been hugged before.
The beauty of this is that what we've done at the time that I was able to do it was we opened the doors for, at this point, hundreds of people to come out of prison. They changed the laws, they changed the sciences, and I was one of the first 5 released, me and a team of brothers who, God bless us to make this happen. My point, I tell them, the guys who've been in there with me, y'all stories are way better than mine, because y'all seen humanity in me when they claim you had no humanity.
And most of them had no fathers. No male figures.
So
probably never been hugged by.
the first one, he's on the street. Remember, I was in Watts, and Watts in Compton was very robust and dangerous young men at the time due to the conditions of what was going on.
When you were in prison already.
Right, I was in jail. The county jail was actually more dangerous. They call it the insane asylum. I ain't gonna say to the governor, but we had a bright governor who said that the criminally deranged and the mentally insane is the same person, and so we don't need mental health centers. We're just going to be more prisons. And then after he got out of office, and fact check everything I say, he created a concrete and steel company, and he built 33 prisons. Very easy to figure out who he is. So my point of this is, now you have all these men in the county jail system, and you have literally mentally ill people in the system. And that ain't cool. The first time that I knew, see, what you do, you I don't want to say target, you target the shot caller. You know, although the youngsters are looking, but these are the same youngsters that attack me on command. You know, remember, I'm a non-affiliate. And I'm not this people that y'all see now. I'm literally your husband's son in prison. There you go, perfect. Lean, but I was more dangerous than now. Lean, can't really speak at that time. God didn't remove the impediment off my tongue yet, so I could speak for his people. And so I had to be very deliberate when I do speak. And I had to have it all the way lined up. So anytime I was saying stuff now, I don't even think about what I'm talking about. The spirit just comes out. But then I don't plan on this about 2-3 days because it'd take me that long to get it out. And so it was a guy named Cisco. He was the leader of Watts. There, he's out. I love you, Cisco. And I said, okay, I'm gonna get Cisco. And so we was in the same court. And you know, this dude was a general. All the Compton, all the Watts, they move on his call. I'm talking about snap finger, they on your body, stripping you out, then, right? So I'm vibing. For some reason, they never faded me. Most people know in the world of like the animal kingdom, there's somebody dangerous. You know, you can look at a cat and tell him he ain't the one to be playing with. This gonna be a hard fight. And then they warned him, yeah, he gonna be somebody in prison, so why is jumping on him? So they was right, I did become somebody in prison. So it was Cisco's daughter. So one day I was on the phone, we both getting convicted at the same time. And you know, he's a hard general, man. This dude, I'm 20, he in his 30s, done been to San Quentin at the roughest pens, run his whole hood. And we came to court, I seen he about to break. And I said, but you need your phone? He said, yeah. So he's talking to his guy, his baby mom. He got off the phone. I know he needed a hug. I said, big sister, come on, man. I said, come on, man. He hugged me. I did what my father did. I put the cheek up on his face. I hugged him. I said, you gonna be all right, Cisco. And then, you know, we strong dudes. You know, we gladiators. You know, it's not that I ain't got in a fight. I never attacked nobody, but I've defended. I've disarmed people. I've made citizen arrests in prison. But I've never hurt you. I ain't gonna let you hurt me either, though. So just with context on when I say stuff, he collapsed in my arms for that 1 second. And that's how I knew that I passed him all the divinity that my father has placed upon my heart, all the strength, all the masculinity, all the femininity into that moment. And the hug is not in, if you're still in your ego, if you're still tense, you ain't hugging. Collapse into each other. Collapse into each other. There's no more husband, wife. There's no more male, female. There's no more Muslim, Jew. That's how I know if somebody's really hugging me or not, because we're going to lose each other in each other's arms. And that's the key. It's never disrespect to you, your husband, your staff. If we hugging, we hugging. We're past all that by now. We're not kids. And then there'll be a transmission of energy. And so from that with Cisco, from that point on, any place I went, and somebody has to leave the dorm. And so if the shot callers wasn't there, they'd be at, yo, cuz, and get cribs. Whose dorm is it? Because, you riot and then 100 of us get thrown. There's 100 people in the dorm. And they say, Shaq. My Muslim name is Shakir, the grateful one. Belief, conviction, and gratitude. My family name is Shakir. Who? Do a Muslim cuz? Muslim cuz. Muslim cuz? Yeah. And so the older heads start putting me in control over, and this is in the county. And so now I'm over 100 people. And so this is a part of my philosophy. We both are founded schools. If you create safe space, violence is already interrupted. I don't have to say I'm a violence interrupted. I'm a violence interrupted because I'm creating a safe space. And so that's where I was able to do. Because you feel safe inside of yourself. I'm already safe. I can come here, and there's no way I'll even come here. It's no amount of money, and then y'all can get me here if I didn't feel I was safe. I'm not going to buy into it. I don't want to be nothing a part of it. I'm not going to get on a plane, train, jet. Bull, I'm cool. I'm not in jail no more. I don't got to play no games. I'm free.
That's the other thing I say about school. It's the safety, making these kids feel safe.
That's
like
everything.
100%, everything.
Then there was another brother named Big Reba.
Well, do you think that moment that you locked in and you connected your hearts vibrated together? Like, did he almost did he appoint you to these positions? Was it like, I almost feel like, the story of Pharaoh and Yusuf, really, that's like.
My daddy named me Joseph.
Really, like that image came in my mind,
And it wasn't just him. It was that generation that preceded me. I tell people just in the realm of, 4D, 4 dimensions.
But he set you up.
Of course, him and his crew. It was Big Meat House, Pop Squally, Turtle. All these dudes are like the dudes. So they see how I'm engaging Cisco and how we going to the side and they looking, I'm the one talking. It ain't him talking, it's me talking. But they don't know what we talking about.
Beautiful.
He's crying, I'm crying. Come on, I'm hugging. Whoa.
How old are you at that time?
20, 21, 22.
This is a pivotal moment.
Oh, brother, very pivotal moment. This is how I knew the power. And then the officers.
He was older than you.
I don't know. I've raised, when people ask me, I don't have any biological children. And so people's like, man, but I said, yeah, I'm not their daddy, but I was raising people my age, 40, 50, 60, 70. There's men in prison, 70 years old, been in jail for 40 years.
So basically, this big man on the yard,
Yeah.
this big man in the prison,
Yeah.
Veteran.
running the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have this pivotal moment where you guys hug in the courtroom and you knew.
Yeah.
Everything.
You knew when your souls were gonna connect at a deep level, that was it.
That was it. Resonance, your husband said.
And then you were
Definitely.
orchestrated to now help others.
And
Because you were appointed.
don't become entitled. That's another thing too. Entitlement.
That could be a power trip.
Yeah, entitlement. And
Humility.
I'm pretty sure that, one thing I've heard about you all is kindness. I'm very sensitive to words, energy come off words. And if I'm going to have that experience, just because y'all kind of everybody else don't mean you kind to me. You prove so. With that being said, that, oh man, when he, Cisco, it was his generation. It was a stamp of his generation to my generation. Them brothers did real time. I caught the last bit of real prison. Before, it's just like warehousing. I'm talking about, it's just death. You just sitting there languishing in cells, eating a bunch of junk food that you're buying from a commissary. We spend $2 billion a year on trash, junk food, because, you know, the food they give you isn't enough to keep you alive. So you're going to lay in on that garbage, you know, so you're just sitting there feeling unfulfilled hole. So to the point when his generation said, this is our guy, boom, as a youngster who's a non-affiliate, you know, young affiliates get know if you ain't a gang member, if you don't click up, if you don't sympathize, then you're preyed upon.
And they never demanded you to be part of the gang at all?
No, never. No, that's safety out of this
Amazing
promotion, in effect, right? You got safety,
Oh,
physical safety from that point on.
Yeah, but then again, you know, I'm more active than the gang member. For one, California, you know, whenever people are erased and defaced and canceled and obliterated, it's us against you, them against us. So the guards used to play the Hispanic community against us. And the Hispanic community, normally, we're bigger and stronger than the Hispanic brothers, right? But they more lethal and organized because they're going to kill you. And they're going to kill one of you. See, they love me, even the Hispanic brother. Anytime blacks and me get into something, those are who was protecting me. Hispanic, whites, Polish, all kind of people.
Really? So,
Yeah. One time this youngest from Compton.
so wait, so you were connected to all the
I'm
different...
talking about this. This was before I even got to prison. It's a situation. You said they never tried to do nothing to me. A youngster, he's jealous. I remember what's that movie called? Coming Back to America. With Eddie Murphy. Coming to America.
Yeah.
And remember, in jail, there's no black television. It's all Hispanic in jail, especially where I was at, right? So I'm in the county jail, and the brother said, bro, Coming to America's on. I'm like, what? He said, bro, it's just beautiful to see black people. You feel me? So I'm getting up, and this one little youngster, he just came from youth authority, and he caught my eyes. Something told me to put my shoes on, because then it's always 1 against 20. That's why I'm not intimidated of odds. That's why I also, you know, just elated when I see you squabbling these people and fighting. You know, because a lot of people don't have the heart, the spirituality, the husband, and the resources to back them up all for you, you know, for your whole brand and everything to be scarred, people to leave you hanging, rebuild, and it's so beautiful.
She's ready to be chained to the front doors of the school.
Ready?
So this young guy, man, he swung. He said, oh, you say F Crip? I'm like, what? But I had one shoe on and one shoe off.
Oh,
and so he swung, and I went back, and because I'm on my bunk. And so, but my arms are too long, so he can't hit me. So he's trying to get the Crips going. Cuz he said, F Crip. He's trying to get them to jump me. My Mexican neighbor said, police walking. So they scrambled. Boom. Then I'm like, I put my boot on.
and you said that just to get them to stop?
Yeah, because they think the police come. Because they scared of the police. Yeah, you scared
He
of
was
the police.
protecting you.
Yeah, you scared of the police stuff. You know, you'll jump on me.
Yeah.
But the mere saying that a police, and no disrespect, y'all know I'm beyond skin. A young white boy coming here with a stick, you scared of him.
Wow.
But you would jump on me and try to kill me up. And this is how sick and erased in our consciousness that we are. And so the Hispanic brothers shot me a barrel, a kite, a note. Mm-hmm. Don't trip, we're going to get them. And I wrote them back, no, bro, you can't do that.
No.
If you get into it with them, it has to be on something but not for me, bro. Let me deal with my people. You feel me? Let me address. And turned out that another one, which is Big Rebo, which is the head of Compton, he came in and some Hispanic brothers in there smoking crack. And I've never even seen a piece of crack
You
cocaine
get crack
in my...
in prison?
Oh, you get everything. Right. No, and no, we're still in jail. This store is our jail.
Okay.
Yeah, you get crack.
Wow.
And just the smell set him off. I didn't know what it was. I'm like, what's that fucking smell? Man, 18th Street in there smoking crack. I actually want to see it because, you know, I was sheltered. I've been sheltered my whole life, you know, so I actually want to see it. So I went over there and said, let me see what's going on. Hey, Diesel, get away from here. Oh, this ain't for you. Bro, I just want to see some crack being smoked. No, but I'm the kind of person that got to see it. You know, I got to feel it. You know, come on, man, take me to the school so I can see it. And it ain't real until I experience it. And so I seen the trauma. I seen the hurt. I don't like saying demons and all that stuff because kind of, but yeah, that crack cocaine was created by hurtful people, evil people, sinister people. And when we take that into our spirit, or to our bodies, it does nothing but destroy. And so I felt sick. So Rebo is another one, 6'2", 24-inch yard in the county. You know, ain't too many like big dudes in the county unless you went to the pen. And so me and him were spade partners, and he had a crush on my wife's sister. And you feel me? And I became a psychiatrist. A lot of these people just need somebody to talk to, you know, somebody to confess to.
What happened to the guys that committed the crimes?
No, they're still in, both of them. Yeah, and it's my brothers, man. They transformed their lives, really doing the good work, just like me, all three of us.
How'd you stay connected with them?
For 20 years, I was at the lower parts of the prison, which is the South, the dirty South, that's what it's called. They were up north, and one of them, John, Yahya, he came, I seen him first. And I learned a lot about myself, not to suppress and dissociate how you feel. And that's how I know I still need a lot of healing, because I really think I lured him in the cell. And then what was coming out of me just wasn't cool.
They relocated him to where you were?
Right. Both my co-defendants. Yeah, in prison, they put you all together because we're not separated from each other.
This was
This is early in my experience. I seen one almost immediately in 1995.
So you were angry? You went off?
Oh, yeah. And so then the other one, which is Salam Ibn Maryam. Salam. I'm sorry, bro. Let me know about his name. When he came in the cell, I kind of felt that this was his fault.
Yeah.
His fault, you know. And I felt that he
You went into the anger.
Oh, no, I'll tell you what's worse than anger? Rage. And black rage. Black rage is a culmination of everything effed up that ever happened to black folks. And you can summon the ancestral memory. I know who I'm talking about. Y'all are the real deal. You know, you've set up whole apparatuses on neurology and neuroplasticity and ancestral memory, and you know, that's why I love y'all, for real, because that's what I'm on. That's what I've been on. And so I can summon some shit up in my body that I know ain't just mine. I know this stuff is being brought from a certain place. It's not a demon. It's not, I don't need to be exorcised. I don't need to be baptized 3 more times.
Yeah.
Then we need to address this. So that's what he did on the outer for me, because it's not no reason for me to get mad at somebody, because I really don't know where I'm at.
Yeah.
Until he got in the cell, that I asked him just really about the case and how this stuff even happened, how my name got involved. And then it turned out, and this is no disrespect to him, that he lied. You know, he lied. And that's what got my name involved and got me involved. I wasn't in the house when the people are hurt. I left. The spirit told me then, get out of there. So I left. And so when I figured out, like, what? And then I got the transcripts and I started reading. I didn't come at him inside of jail, but when I got to the pen and the weight is hitting me, then man, I might have to be here forever. I don't think I've never been that upset with somebody. So I came at him, and you know, although I forgave him, but I had to find ways, okay, so if I can get that angry and enraged, and I'm willing to kill somebody, then that same energy on the other spectrum is love, that I can give life to somebody. So to the same capacity that I am willing to take your thug and suck it, why did, okay, no, we're gonna take that, okay, let's look at it, okay, oh, all right, I can see why you upset. I can see why, okay, so now let's make sense of this. It has to be some resilience involved. It has to be some neuroplasticity.
Yeah.
It has to be some wisdom in this, some transferable skills in this. So what I'm gonna do on this? Now I'm gonna start loving on people. I'm going to take this, and for our relationship, all my acts of good, I'm going to equate it to this situation. That's how I healed myself from it.
So basically, at what point when you're in prison would you say, I'm going to 100% focus on love and healing others?
1997, to y'all point. I don't know where y'all getting this stuff from. And the audience probably knows, if you look me up, I'm in process of getting all the social media. I've done a lot of talking. And that was one of my friends, very similar to y'all in background. He told me, he said, bro, you come on out here doing your stuff. We know. And we was the people who went to the governor and told them that you need to consider these guys before you get out of office. Hiring that person picked me up in Tesla, driving itself, to 2018. And I've never been in a car driving itself. And it has swivel seats. So, and swivel override. And we promised we're going to be
Got
great.
out in 2017, right?
2018.
Okay.
And he was one of the guys that was very instrumental of making me feel like I can get out here and get out. You know, you've been in prison doing that. And so I was a part of a program in which they would bring high net people into the prisons. The head of Apple came, the head of Uber came, all of them. And I didn't know who none of them was. And so hugging on them, you know, they got this up in pill. And hey, man, you're the first person who ever hugged me and really loved me because you don't even know who I am. So it's nothing to get is I didn't know the word Uber. I didn't know the tall, skinny guy from Apple. And I met him, and he, man, when you get out, we don't even know people like you exist. You know, all these people. I ain't even reached out to these people yet. So my point of it is, I talked to one, it's him and his wife, about 2 years ago. I always stay in touch with him. And he said, Tobias, go ahead and get your social media going so you can dictate when somebody says Tobias Tubbs, you curate what you want people to know about you. And so when people say, I heard this podcast, you know, I'm not that even that organ. I'm like, where people is getting this from? So yes, 97 is when they stopped family visits. And when they stopped family visits, that was the first blow, conjugal visits. Me and Starese, she became my everything. She became my sanity. She became my muse. Everything I learned about femininity, the soul, masculine femininity in the words and books, ancient mythologies about women, feminine earth, feminine heart, feminine soul, Sakina, the feminine presence of God. You know, this is the kind of stuff, man, I got like 2.5 days on a family visit to entertain. I wanted to know everything about her, every nuance of skin. You know, I was on one. Because this woman is driving past like 1 million dudes to get here to me. And so I took it very seriously. So her leaving was the first blow. And then my best friend, Troy Bartholomew, Salafi Kawi, I asked him recently, looked him in the eye, he's out. Did you leave me, bro? Man, I want straight words, bro. Don't drop your head, don't drop your eyes, brother. And he's formidable. I think he's the best of us. He taught me. You know, people don't even know his name. Everybody knows my name. But I would be nothing without him. Because he knew that I was a leader before I knew I was a leader. He said, bro, I didn't leave you. They took me. I know.
They took him where?
To another prison. So then I had to make a choice. Am I doing?
He was one of the guys that you...
Oh, yeah, this is one of the guys who started the movement that I started in prison that took over the whole prison.
Okay.
Right. His name is Troy Bartholomew. He's a few years older than me. And, you know, he's just an amazing person. And because I wasn't taking jail serious. I was having fun, to be truthful. I'm getting out. Shit, get out 27 years old. You know, beat the case, sue him, and I married my girl. You know, we had a little something. My father still had a contracting company. I'm the heir son. You know, my bad. So when they denied my case, I'm like, what? It's like, I remember the elders. They actually feel bad for me, although thousands of people got the same sentence I got. Just like, man, youngster, man, you're like, this is a good person. And so I remember it was 2 skinhead white supremacists on each side of me. And you can hear them sharpening the metal. And then the white guards used to bring them real knives. And so I'm sitting there and, I'm fighting rage. My girl gone. Do you think you sweet on Layla? Oh, man. I'm sweet. And you feel me? I'm talking about, man, mom was concentrated. You and her can experience the whole world, y'all. Man, all of ours on our hearts and heads. When we experience everything y'all experience on a family visit, dead. You feel me? That's how amazing me and her love is. And is. And so I'm ready to hurt somebody behind that pain. You don't want to feel the pain. So anger feels better. It does. The hormones, the adrenaline, you want to do something. So I'm having to restrain it. And then I got the letter from the brothers in the other yard. Yeah, bro gone. Now I'm feeling abandoned. Oh, and they sharpen these knives. And in prison.
Are you starting to question, like, the belief that you had or the faith that you had?
Not the belief,
Are you
because
challenge God?
Not challenge God. I was being challenged because violence is the currency. He ain't never fought nobody. He ain't killed nobody. He just got a bunch of killers around him. So that was like what people were saying back then. He ain't no killer. He ain't no real leader. Somehow he done convinced these killers that he's somebody.
But I mean, I feel like this at this moment is your lowest low because your chance of appealing is gone.
Yeah.
Your best friend is gone.
Yeah.
And your wife is gone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is low because I'm really considering.
How do you get out of this?
Oh, well, right here, I got you. So as they sharpening, and you got to watch your imagination, or they going to stab you. They coming at you because they always come at the leader. That's their politics. Whites, Hispanic, and police kill the leader. We go out there and just throw some punches just so you can say you fought. Poke somebody in the leg so you can say you fought. They coming at you to kill you. They trying to get to the neck, big knives, kill you. So you know that, and I know I'm a target. So if you're sitting in the cell, you're on a lockdown, the whispers, they're going to kill you. Then I start seeing my mama crying. So this is what it's after my head up. I'm seeing my little sister. I'm seeing my father. Oh, man, I'm going to kill them. This is how this shit go. I'm going to get them. I'm going to come out on him. I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to take his knife and stab like you're in a movie. And you will summon that into your spirit. I'm sitting there thinking. And it just hit me. Like, yeah, you can do that. Seriously. But this is how me and Allah, Hashem, God talk. This is what I'm talking to y'all. It ain't no, I'm going. No, it's just real, like two partners. Although he's a creator, man. This is my dude. This is my beloved, man. Real talk, real shit. I'm talking about belief, conviction, and gratitude. So, well, you can always start hurting people. But how about give love a chance? And if it don't work, you can always go to. But once you start on that road, you go into acid, you go into the shoe, my spirit gonna be on that. And then I'm just going to be on that. Then my boys going to go. Then my crew going to go. Then if somebody kill me, my father going to be on one. So I'm thinking, so let me give, okay, so 1997 is when I committed myself. I wrote the warden and told I was no longer a Muslim, that I created my own form of Buddhism, literally, I did. Because that's when that old president got up there and said, the Folsom Initiative Act is a new kind of terrorist and they're being grown and we're going to come down on these guys and we're going to come get them. So my idea is, man, let me get out of anything that go in. I had these people talking to me about nothing. So I literally wrote the warden a manifesto of sorts. And I broke down Buddhism, Christian, who I am. And I got my own fort of Buddhas called something Shakara. But literally, man, I was just like, man, them people used to confiscate my stuff and steal my stuff. So my whole thing is I'm giving my life totally. And it wasn't that I denounced Islam, Christianity, anything else. Just leave me the hell alone, man.
You just want to be loved.
That's it.
You chose love.
And so that's going to be tested. So I ended up getting moved off of that yard 3 years later. And so I went to C yard. And remember, no one is normally in a state prison for this amount of years. I was there for 20 years. Normally 1, 2 years, 3, you go someplace. Riots, woo. I've always been held down. God has already put love in people's heart for me and invested in whatever I'm on, And
So how did you get out? Tell us quickly how did you get out? Because we need to know that part too.
Wait, before we go there, I want to hear a few more stories. Can we do that?
Okay, you're right.
Okay.
Before we go, I want to hear. Once you chose in 1997 love.
Yeah.
Of course, you're in prison.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to come at you with knives, with trying to kill you. If you had a situation where literally somebody was coming at you to try and kill you and you turn them around.
Okay. All right.
Share with
Yeah. Okay. We're going to get to the yard I got out of. So I'm going to vibe between the husband at the same time.
Okay.
We go to a place called California State Prison. It's in Lancaster. And it's a whole different kind of spot because the yard is actually ran by prisoners, And it was heard that, these guys are going for the gate, man. These dudes are doing things. So they called it an honor yard. And people said there was no honor in it. So they called it Progressive Program Facility. And although I wasn't a violent person in the first 20 years of the time, but I used to leverage violence. Okay, if you don't listen, you get stabbed. And you don't listen, you get stabbed. So I was leveraging violence. Mm-hmm. Then I figured this out later on. Oh, yeah, you shouldn't even be leveraging violence either. So there, violence wasn't on the table because people were not hurting each other. Until this incident, this leader, he was intimidated. So he sent 2 guys at me. He's over there watching whoever he told. But by that time, I've been so deep off into my path. I believe, as most people who believe in the Torah, the Bible, the Quran, the meta-netter, in netters or angels, and I believe that the angelic realm, 5th dimension, that births the 4th dimension, is under our control, but they know us. Just like, Alex knows me. Mm-hmm. And so we believe that there's the light of God in the form of angels control body parts and lungs and stuff. And I was really into stuff, studying systems. And so I used to show my friends that, bro, you don't have to, brother, I know who runs people, showing up in people's dreams. And so at that time, just to give context, I've already been so involved in the spiritual world and knowing that the cosmos is my limbs, so if my mouth is shut, she'll speak for me. If my hands can't reach it, she'll touch for me. I've experienced that, and I'm grateful, I'm convicted on that happens, and I'm grateful, so it magnifies it. So I see it coming. So one guy come this way, and one guy comes the other, supposed to be stab me and get me off the yard. So it was one big cat, a little smaller cat. And so about the time they get hands distance, it's not the Arabic that I spoke. It's words of authority. So I paused them.
Wow.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I say you peace in the name of Allah and the blessings and the mercy upon him. I said a couple more words, so they look, you don't even know me. And so I'm speaking to your spirit, and I told them to give me the knives. I took them with my left hand. So they give me their knives after I disarmed them.
Wow.
The main one, because normally the older one, the young one is driving off his energy anyway. So they gave me the knife. Well, then first time I'm going to toss their knife. And I say, now listen, I know who I am in the spiritual world.
Yeah.
I know that argon is an element in which every mighty soul, Joseph, it's an element in oxygen that all of us are breathing. And you can activate the consciousness, the spirit of David, of anybody, Goliath, Hitler, whoever you want to. You can tap into whoever you want to tap into. And your body become a medium to their love. And so whoever I was on at that time, I'd be, mediating energy. That's just energy. So I said, you go that way, and you go that way, and you go hug him. And they went, and everybody on the yard started laughing. because he get to moving because he think they still got the knife. They come to stab him, and they grabbed him, and they're hugging on him, and everybody start laughing. And since that time, there was no more physical violence towards me, but a lot of psychological games, because the people was working, not to defame these brothers, but they was working with the police on that yard. So the police didn't have to torment you. They let your peers torment you. And so what it did for me, it flattened me all the way out. I went down to probably 180 pounds, start fasting. I was dog training at the time. These were traumatized dogs. And so I can relate very easily to the trauma because they're honest. You know, we hide and we play. But dogs, when they trust you, and they'll tell you who hurt them and how they hurt them. So I was a dog whisperer, so I didn't believe in like the training methods that were being used on them. So I was put in position, there's love on them, and the roughest ones. And so that was a lot of healing for me because the love was unconditional. It was very difficult for us to love each other unconditionally because we come from so much distrust, so much the circumstances, the situations. You're black, you're white, you're a man, I'm a woman. Whoa. But them dogs, when they come in there, oh my God.
Dogs are the best.
Oh, they loved on me. So and then I was over the trauma healing program. Then I was placed over the educational program with Dr. Badan Roy. When the Pell Grant, Obama's Pell Grant came out, he was over a few prisons. So they needed a bridge on how to get incarcerated people with life without sentences to school. So I became the bridge. We created a form of critical pedagogy in which I would dissect the books and various subjects and invite people inside those spaces and be kind of like a bridge. And we did that with great success. So all this is getting me towards that very active in the chapel and applying services. And then last but not least, we was the first one to plant sunflowers in a prison.
Wow.
Level 4 prison. So we had the Inside Gardening program. I was the lead because I was the lead in transforming trauma into resilience. And so that instructor, he was given the gardening program. And so we got a full buy-in from the warden, from everybody. Dr. Corelli, she was over inmate health at the medical facility. And so for 6 years, she unofficially put me over the whole medical facility. And that's where the governor I was brought to the governor's attention. The artist called Common, they came there for a concert. And, there's a lot of celebrity types that was coming to this particular yard. So he's gonna come to a concert. I'm in the bed minding my business because over my journey at this time, it's almost 30 years, 28 years, that I know if God has something for me, I don't have to put myself forth. I don't have to be banging on the door why I'm not there. It was a guy that came off death row named Chico. He was on death row with the brother Tookie, Stanley Williams, who they assassinated, one of the heads of the Crips. And he had a book that the brother wrote on how to galvanize the youth and the Crips and the Bloods. And he wanted this to be like his manifesto to the world since they took his life. And so he tried to get me the book. And so I told him, no, bro, I'm going to help you get out because I don't want the weight of that. And so he goes to the officer and he says, let Tobias out, Tubbs. He's the spokesman for CDC. He's the spokesman for the people. And so I'm in there minding my business. And matter of fact, I'm about to go to sleep. And the door came open. My warden, and I say my warden, because she put my name up herself for the commutation, Dehumanization in common. And they set me in a way, because this is a town hall meeting, because the wind was blowing, the eastern wind, the same wind that's blowing now in the fires. It's the eastern wind where we was, David had control of the eastern wind. And so I'm sitting there and they're trying to get me to speak, but I keep telling Chico, you can't put a quarter in my back and just think I'm gonna talk. I had to speak through inspiration. I practiced like 28 years in the mirror. I'm, prolific speaker. And so somebody said to Common, somebody met at the Inside Gardening program. He said, yeah, Common, if we want to see you, we'll pay for a concert. We want Tobias to speak. And this was a person in the audience. And then He was like, yeah, where you at? And the way I was sitting, it looked like this was all set up for me for what it was. And so, I could have came, but no, I couldn't have. But I heard God said, make him laugh. And I looked straight at Nancy McFadden, like she was the only person in the room. And I made her laugh about how ridiculous it is for me to be here. And after I spoke, contact, the comment, all this stuff is on film. She ran. And I've been touched by a woman outside my family in so long, she grabbed my face. And she said, Tobias, and I could feel the heat of her breath. She said, I'm going to tell Jerry, the governor, to let you out of here. Yeah. She hugged me, and I kissed her. And she had a cat named Daniel. I still ain't found yet. And people know that I was her last act of kindness because she passed. And those who are in the circles know that that lady put your name on the governor's desk. And she passed. So
She passed soon after?
soon after. Yeah, it's a big fat,
How long did that take from her recommendation for?
it wasn't just for me. Everybody who participated that night and got a commutation. I was out probably within a year. Me and Tom really don't get along sometime, but it didn't take long because I just went from life without the possibility of parole down to 25 to life. I already been in enough time, so you go to the board. So I just had to go to the board. That's what took the extra time. Went to the board, longest board in CDC history, 7 hours, because I still had the
CDC is what?
Department of Corrections, California Department of Corrections.
Okay.
You get a commutation on the truth, but the system is so, everybody's working in a vacuum.
Yeah.
And so the commutation board is not in sync with the normal parole board. So I got a commutation on the truth. I was not in the house. This is what happened, blah, 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 blah. But when you go there before the commissioner, you have to testify to what you're convicted of. Aided in abetting, murder, setting up the murders, and all that. 7 hours. Commissioner Montez, I love you, Commissioner Montez. Yeah, she retired after me as well. 7 hours drilling me, going at it.
So you basically had to explain to them how you were wrongfully convicted.
No, I took another approach. I told them how I did it. So she said, this is after about 4 hours. And sitting like this with your neck cracking where she's drilling and dancing and prancing. And she said, Mr. Tubbs, if you're about to go down this rabbit hole, I'm going to make sure, because they know one in the house, that you spend the rest of your life in prison. And I rose my right hand and I said, ma'am, I already vowed to tell the truth and nothing but the truth will help me die. She said, it's your life, Mr. Tubbs. And I kind of explained that cases, in meaning it's not premeditated, it's not within that moment. It's a lot of small events that come up.
You mean, so she was telling you that if you basically don't just say you did it, because then I can let you free.
Yeah, not so much say you live, but if you're going to sit here and tell me that you committed these murders and we know that you didn't commit the murder, that it wasn't so much, because she actually denied me. She denied me suitability, which meant I would have still been in prison. And so the whole point of it was there is an energy. It's not just that, okay, I'm going to wake up this morning and I'm going to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
No one just wakes up and hurts somebody. Normally it's some stuff that has to happen along the way to get to that point.
Yeah.
And my point was I fed into that energy. Did I tell them to do that? No. Did I set this up? No.
Yeah.
But it was a lifetime before that. It's all that's happened in my community that has us to have the potentiality and acceptability and capacities to harm somebody because we feel we're harmed or we're going to be harmed. That was my point. She denied me. And it was that officer. I typed a letter because you have to show remorse. I've never killed nobody. I've never hurt nobody. So how am I show remorse for the death? So we was doing healing circles with mothers who lost their children. And I was the lead on the healing circle. So I took a vow. That my hands would be the hands of the sons today. And so when she read, and it was a CEO, I'm about to get up, And I was about to take the document off. She touched my hand. She said she's going to read it. And I left it there, and she read it. And she brought me in. She said, Mr. Tubbs, you're extraordinary suitability. You're the unique one. In 28 years of me being a commissioner and putting the hammer on people, you're the first person to make me second guess myself. And she retired. I'm giving you a name. You can read out. She retired.
She changed her mind.
She changed her mind.
How are the work? How are the written work?
Because your letter.
Yeah, it just told my whole journey that I'm talking to y'all and whatever to all. Yeah,
I shared the journey.
I shared the whole journey of compassion, so our rehabilitation, redemption, being sensitive enough to empathize. 20 years when there was no hope of getting up out of here. I've done this work, naming it. Mothers who've come up, who've connected hearts with. I'm breaking down that when we hurt each other, the earth is hurt, the trees are hurt, the animals are hurt. First responders who come and have to live up blood scenes are hurt. The person who hurts, we hurt our families. We come on, lady, it's not no other way that I can explain to you. I understand the ramifications, and I didn't even kill nobody.
Yes.
So just imagine if I can speak to this in this deep way, it shows the work that I put in. It'd be different if I kill somebody, I got to just deal with my demons.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sitting with Vietnam vets. I'm sitting with men who've killed. I'm sitting and I'm taking it on, and I articulate it in a way that she released me. And in that release, the governor asked me, I'm going to send you back to your parents, right, in South Carolina. And I said pretty much no. He congratulated me for being a Tobias, because Governor Brown is a Jesuit, and Tobias is the Saint Jesuit.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Ignatius, which is the one who founded the Jesuit order, he used to pray to Mary and Tobias while he was in prison. I knew that, and I knew who I was talking to. So I didn't come to the governor like this. I came like this. I'm giving you an opportunity on your way out to help bring some resolve to the crimes that were committed in maybe your younger years. Without having to say this, he knew what was up. And so I told him I want to go back to my community and share what I was able to share inside.
So tell us about your community and now and the projects that you're working on now.
Oh, right now, very similar to you, too. We have a school.
What age?
Oh, my goodness. What grades? Right now, the school is for 14 to 21. It's called a Pendo. A Pendo is a Swahili term for love, but it's a seed that's nurtured into full blossom and what it takes to nurture that seed. Everyone who is with me on this has been doing the work for years, but to bring everybody under one umbrella, we're dealing with mostly system impacted youth, the ones which are part of our creative learning center. They're labeled neurodivergent. By law, they're considered fosters, because if they get out and you don't have two parents in California, you're considered a foster. And so we're creating safe spaces through mindfulness, through care, through diet, through explaining to people there's no financial literacy unless you're financially aware. How come you're going to be literate of something you're not aware of? Boom. And so food is our medicine. A lot of these people on bad diet, we have a tech component that we're seeking to build out. So the county gave us, which is pretty much seed money, but we cannot depend, nor should we depend on state funding. The state and government is just too tricky.
Yeah.
Hold up, no, not right now. Well, we'll give it to you later. But yet still, these kids got to eat, staff got to get paid. I don't got to tell y'all should understand. And so we're doing the work. So we're working with that demographic, and then we have other classes that are really art-based, creative-based, really like ethnoculturally sensitive, understanding what young people are going through inside of themselves, coming out of. If you say since the 60s that there's been a war, right, wrong, or indifferent, war on drugs, war on gangs, war on violence, war. So wouldn't that community be a war zone? And then you take 200,000 of their daddies So they grew up without daddies. And now you leave me with the grandkids.
Yeah.
And so they're not war casualties, or they are. All that. And you create laws that a man can't be in the house. Then a lot of these young brothers we're dealing with, their mothers had them young. So now mom is working 15, 16, 17, 18 hours. And so that's one thing. Advocacy. Still advocating for men and women behind the wall, allowing very notable personalities and in government and private sector that you can't hold us to our worst moments. We have the potential to change, and we have a system to change. So we're creating a model in which we can share this model. Mm-hmm. So just when, Alex called me, I said, bro, we're raising, but this is a fight of all fights.
It's a nonprofit, right?
It's a nonprofit.
What's the name of it? Website?
We're perfecting the website.
Not up yet?
It's not up yet,
okay.
But it's in process of being up, sadly.
When do you think it will be up?
Probably when I get back.
Because if it is, you can give us the website. We can post it.
Beautiful.
And the name of the school or the organization is what?
HearMeOut.com.
Well, HearMeOut.com.
Yeah, Hear Me Out. So
how many people are you servicing right now?
Okay, we're servicing out of the school. We have 13. So we're taking previously incarcerated people who've been in the system for years, and we're putting them together with people who are coming in.
Oh, wow.
You feel me? So it's repurposing, re-identifying folks. I was in for 30 years. And so it's an intergenerational knowledge exchange that these young people that can be my grandchildren have value, plus the generation. So we have from 50, 40, 30, 20 down to 10.
You're teaching them how to meditate?
Yeah, meditate, food. We'll be putting a tech component, making them ambassadors and advocates to their own struggle, which we have narrative therapy, cultivating the voice, the counter narrative. Don't just hold me to my worst kind of moment. And then we have another program which we just have students that are not inside of the system, and then we're dealing with more of them. It's like 100 a year because it's like 4 cohorts.
And are these 13 kids actually getting a degree? They're like
Oh, no, this is credit restoration.
Okay.
These youth have been barred from school.
Oh.
And sadly, the schools still get their ADA money. We're supposed to be getting ADA money, but the school won't give us the money. And so we're actually, nor will the parole officers, the judicial system, or the penal system give us money, which they should, to take, and there's no accountability. The parole officer is supposed to be making sure these young fellas go to school. And these young men are coming to school solely because they want to. So there's no accountability. And so, but as for these young men, we're their last line of defense. So to answer your question, it's credit restoration. Credit restoration. These are whatever high school units and credits you didn't give, you didn't get.
You get it there.
We get it there. And that is like a very personal, very similar to your school, down where they at, right here, very specialized folks, and really loving on these young people where they at. Feeding them, because some of them don't even live in houses. They live in the bushes at the park. So the first thing they come, they trying to eat. They trying to wash, talking about basic levels of humanity. And then we have the other group that comes in. That's for, they're in high school, middle school, high school, and they have normally parents or one parent. Their social dynamics is a little different, so we work with both.
There's this educational organization that they focus on AI for like 2 hours. Have you guys thought about
all of that?
Are you doing any AI?
One of our fiscal sponsors is Viterbi at USC. And Viterbi is the engineering/tech department of the school. I'm very close to the professor there, Dr. Gray. So we have a Viterbi lesson and program to get these young people to. So we need to have a bridge that connects them to the higher experience of cybersecurity. With that, even because he's a specialist in cybersecurity, AI, and the different 18 platforms of AI. So now we're very, I don't have my phone right here. Can you research with these phones? What do you do with these phones? These phones is more than looking at social media and taking girls, whatever the case might be. But we're in the process of building out our tech program. So not only we can get the qualitative and quantitative data, we have to have that, all because they don't have any data on these young people. Only that which erases them and allows court systems to put them away forever. So that's one thing. So this is the build out, making whole my team, which is essential because everybody's working off a stipend and I'm paying out of pocket. And so that's one part, making them whole so they feel good about the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
And then number two, building out the model, which we have a 3-year plan. It's like 1.2 a year, which is in the county pays $1 million per child to arrest them, lock them up, blah, 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 blah. So we're saying we'll do 13 children for the same $1 million, 13. I've already perfected it. You heard my story. I've done this 1,000 times. 13, and we'll still service and love 125 just with basic services inside the community. So for 1.2, which is like $100,000 a month, it takes care, I have doctors, I have sociologists or social workers, a lot of these people from USC that I help raise, they're getting out, just like, they got to eat, they got to, y'all know, because I see the marvelous work you're doing and taking care of your educators. So we have the whole system, and so we can show that not only are we violence prevention and public safety, that when this model sticks, we're saving, just along in our process, I just saved you $12 million. Yeah, you feel me? Because literally. So yeah, that's where we at right now. We're in the $3.2 million raise.
And then as part of the raise, are you also making sure you apply for grants?
Grants and funding is a game. And that's how we've got here this far. So now we're looking for really foundations who really are invested in me. You just keep this honey. Yes, Pendo, the house is the model, but it is a platform and a bridge to a lot of other ideas that I have.
Yeah.
So we are prepared to execute, but somebody has to put in the grant, and they have to put the grant in. And then, I got to go talk, and I got to go sell, and I got to go, at the same time, I got to make sure that they're getting an honest breakfast.
Yeah.
At the same time, I got to make sure that he don't go disarm him from a pistol before he go kill somebody.
Yeah.
So once I'm made whole and my team can make whole, I tell people it's 7 ways into Egypt. Egypt's the core of the Quran, the Bible, and African sciences. So we're looking for all financial streams.
Yeah.
But if you're not made whole and able to do the work without singing, you're in a perpetual state of begging all the time. You got to convince people to do right. So that's where it's been. So yes, grants, dealing with the various agencies in California who's been giving considerable amount of money, but you want to come like this.
Yeah.
You don't want to come like this because you're not making payroll, because you will. So that's where we're personally at. The grind is real. The fight is real.
They tried to erase you physically and spiritually, and they couldn't, and it didn't happen. And you stayed in your heart, and you spread your soul and your love to everybody else, and you've had a tremendous impact. And I know that you see the perfection of your journey, and I really appreciate you coming and sitting down and sharing your story with us. Thank you. It's been an honor. It's been an honor to meet you. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna give you a hug. Thank you.